Okay. We're good.
We're good? Okay. So one more time, just in case anyone did not hop on, my name is Nicole and I'm with Twisted Fitness. I will be doing a little stretch session with you today. I am a personal trainer and I also have an online video membership. So you can follow me on www.twistedfitnessnetwork.com or my Instagram, twistedfitnick. That one's a little bit easier to find. Other than that, we will get started. We are going to use some sort of TheraBand or a towel, just something to help you shorten the distance and be able to reach your feet or your ankles a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna come up to a standing position. We're gonna take feet hip width apart, slight bend in those knees, start rolling those shoulders back. Just getting some movement in those shoulders. And then rolling the shoulders forward. All right, holding those shoulders still. We're gonna take the arms out and up, overhead. Palms are gonna come together, and then side bend over to the right, feeling the stretch along the left. And then lifting up, side bend over to the left, feeling the stretch along the right. And then coming back to center, we're gonna dive forward, forward fold, reaching for the floor, rounding that head down. Just letting gravity take over, letting those shoulders fall towards the floor. Feeling the stretch in the back of the legs or the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, go ahead and alternate, bending one knee, sinking into your opposite hip, and then switching sides, bending the other knee. Taking it at your own pace, just alternating, bending one side, and then the other. Few more here. Straightening those legs. And then slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Rolling those shoulders back. This time as you take the arms out and up overhead, bring your palms together and then lower the palms down in front of the face through prayer. And then roll the head down one vertebrae at a time, reaching for the floor. Just coming back into that forward fold position. Staying there, I'm just gonna rotate so you can see me better. We're gonna take those hands, walk them forward into a down dog position, pressing the hands into the floor, reaching the hips up to the ceiling, heels reach to the floor, really getting a stretch through the back of the legs, even through those calves. And then if you need to, go ahead, step out to a wider down dog, step back. So that way we can lower the hips down into this plank position, adjusting your feet as needed. Holding a plank for a second, waking up the core. And then pulling the hips back up to the ceiling, coming back into that down dog position. We're gonna alternate bending one knee again, and then the other. Just finding the differences here. Noticing how each bend in one knee feels compared to the other. Straightening both legs, reaching the heels to the floor, palms press into the floor, chest reaches back to those knees. And when you're ready, take your left leg up to the ceiling and then bend that left knee, opening up through the hip. Finding that stretch in the front of the left hip. And then as you extend the leg up to the ceiling, bringing the knee or the leg down, bring it through the hands into a runner's lunge position. Keeping your back knee lifted off the floor. And then press up, forward fold in a triangle position. And then lowering down into a modified runner's lunge, dropping the knee, tucking the foot, leaning into the hips, finding a stretch through the front of that right hip. We'll go ahead, pull those hips back, straightening your front leg, flexing the foot, pulling your hips back so that you get a nice stretch through the glutes of your left leg and down into the hamstring. We're going to go ahead, lean forward into that left foot, bending that back knee, which should be the right leg, grabbing your right foot with the left hand, and then anchoring your left shoulder to left knee. Leaning into those hips again, getting a nice quad stretch through that back leg. Releasing that foot here, tucking those toes under, pressing up, stepping back into a down dog. Pressing those hands into the floor, reaching the hips up to the ceiling. And then take that right leg up to the sky, bending at the knee when you're ready, opening up through the hip. Extending back up, lowering that leg, bringing the foot through the hands into a runner's lunge position. Pulling the hips up to forward folded triangle. And then lowering down to a modified runner's lunge position, dropping the knee, tucking the foot. Leaning into our hips again. Finding that stretch. And then pull those hips back, straightening the front leg, flexing the foot, reaching the chest for the knees, toes for the ceiling. Getting the stretch through the glute, down into the hamstring. And then leaning forward again, modified runner's lunge so that way we can bend our back knee, reaching for the foot with the opposite hand, anchoring shoulder to knee. Getting that quad stretch again. Now if you don't get your shoulder to your knee, that's okay. That's just another step to work towards. Releasing the foot. We're gonna go ahead, tuck those back toes under, lift the knee. We're gonna rotate to a side lunge. Wherever that side lunge is, it may be low, like I am right now. It may be higher up. Just take it where your body needs. And then lift up, sliding through center over to the opposite side. Getting that opposite inner thigh stretch. I don't do this one as often as I should. We're gonna go ahead, lift up to wide forward fold here. Just getting another stretch through the back of the legs. And then place those hands down on the floor in front of you, lowering down to all fours. We're gonna take hands in right underneath those shoulders, knees underneath those hips. We're gonna inhale, arch the back up, dropping that head. Exhale, release, lifting the head. Taking a cat-cow at your own breath, breathing through each move. Rounding through those shoulders or arching through the back, lifting the head. Few more here. Coming to a neutral spine, we're gonna bring our feet together, open up those knees, press back into a child's pose. Really reaching those arms long, lengthening through that spine, letting each vertebrae expand, creating space, giving it a chance to breathe a little. Now while you stay in child's pose, I want you to think about how you're feeling. Notice if there's pressure in your forehead, and are you hanging on to that pressure or that tension? If you are, let it go. Let it fall into the floor. Let it release. Maybe your head's tilted to the side, so don't think of it as the center of your forehead. Think of it as your temples. Let it release out into the floor. Just breathing here. If you need to release your arms closer to your sides to release, that's fine. Nice deep inhales, slow exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, bringing our feet around in front of us. We're going to bring them into an extended cobbler position, so nice and long in front of us, long diamond, and then forward fold. This is where the TheraBand or a towel can be useful, because if this is uncomfortable using your hands, you can grab that towel right underneath those feet and use it to pull you closer. Even for someone who may have a lot of flexibility, sometimes that band, whether it be a towel or a resistance band, can give you that extra pull. Lifting up, bring those feet in even a little bit closer, or all the way as close as you can. Same thing, forward fold. This time, take your elbows right in the little bends of your knees. Hands are about at your ankles, and then use the elbows to help press those knees down. That feels good on my hips today. Lifting up, we're going to take our right leg, bringing it in, tucking it under, left leg's going to cross over the right, hugging our knee, twisting to the left, but sending that left hip down and into the floor. This is probably one of my favorite stretches. And then releasing the twist, taking the left leg on top of the right. Forward fold here, just finding a different stretch. Now, if this hurts your knee in any way, just take your left leg off of the right and put it in front of you. That's an okay option. We're gonna go ahead and lift up, switching sides. So now our left leg comes in. Right leg's gonna cross up and over the left, hugging the knee, pulling the hips down, twisting through that spine, sending that right hip into the floor. Releasing the twist, taking the right leg on top of the left, and then again, forward fold. Rolling up through that spine, unraveling those legs. We're going to extend them long in front of us. Grabbing that band again, if you have it or you need, we're going to forward fold, reaching the band over those feet. Just getting a nice stretch, just like we did when we were standing, but now we're seated. If you don't need the band, just place it off to the side, grab those feet. You can even pull those toes back, finding a little bit of a different stretch. And then play with the position of the feet, maybe pointing the toes feel good. Maybe even opening up the knees to the outside, dropping the pinky toes to the floor. Just finding the different positions that might feel good. And then as you roll up one vertebrae at a time, let's go ahead and roll onto our backs, pulling our knees into the chest, hugging our knees, rocking side to side. And creating little circles to the left. Noticing the pressure points along the back. And then little circles over to the right. Noticing if there's a difference here between your left circles and your right circles. Holding the knees still. We're going to extend that right leg down to the floor, keeping the left knee into the chest. Now if you have that band or towel, bring it closer to you. You're going to place it on the arch of your foot, extend the leg up to the ceiling, pull the leg closer to the body, getting a stretch through that hamstring. If you don't have the band, just make sure you're grabbing your legs somewhere behind the calf, maybe the hamstring, staying away from the knee. You're going to open up the leg to the outside of the body, getting an inner thigh stretch. And then coming back to center, taking it across the body, keeping the hips to the floor, not letting them lift so that you get a stretch through that IT band. And then from there, go ahead and bend your knee, fully twisting through the spine, looking over your left shoulder. Coming back to center. Left knee is into the chest. We're going to bring our right foot in. If you have that band or towel, you're just going to switch your feet out. Hugging that right knee, left leg extends long to the floor. And then extend that right leg up to the ceiling. Again, if you don't have the band, just grab somewhere behind the leg, staying away from the knee. And then opening up that leg to the outside of the body, getting a stretch through that inner thigh, keeping those hips down and into the floor. Don't let them lift. And then coming back through center, taking it across the body, getting a stretch through the IT band, keeping those hips to the floor. And when you're ready, bend your right knee, fully twist through the spine, look over that right shoulder. Back into center. We're going to go ahead and release the band off that foot, extend the right leg to the floor. Just laying long, letting the feet fall if they want to. Hands can either be palms up or palms down. I just want you to breathe here. Taking a nice deep breath in and slow exhale. Just finding your breath. Finding that moment of quiet, moment of silence. Breathing in nice and deep, letting it go slowly. And as you're here, we're going to take just a few moments to release any last tension that we may be hanging on to. So take notice up in your head and around your forehead. Are you crinkling your forehead? If you are, let it go. Let it relax. Let it fall to the floor. Let it fall down through the neck, through those shoulders, maybe out those arms and out those fingertips. Escaping into the space around you. And blowing away with the current of the air. Sending the tension down through the chest, through the belly, down into the hips. Noticing if that low back feels extra tension. I know that's where I tend to hold my tension. So I really try and focus here on letting it go and relaxing my low back into the floor. Letting the tension go down through those legs, through those knees, out through the feet. Again, escaping into the air around you and blowing away. Taking another few breaths here before we finish. Nice deep inhales, slow exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths here. Nice deep inhale, slow exhale. 1 more nice deep inhale and slow exhale. Bringing some movement back into your body. When you're ready, and slowly making your way up to a seated position. And you guys are done. I hope you enjoyed this little stretch session. I do these a lot with my clients. I do them usually every Sunday afternoon. And I usually preface them with a little bit of chit chat from me. So have a great day.